Okay, just kidding. Kind of just kidding. Yeah, everybody is freaking out. Everything's bananas. Like, this is crazy. So, if you're worried that it's going to be some other asshole talking about what's going on, fear not. No, be fearful. I'm going to be another asshole talking about what's going on. But, okay, so I'll try to stay on topic here. I'm not good at not going off on tangents, but here we go. So, obviously, everything's a little bananas right now. Everybody knows that. Everybody is experiencing that differently. And my perspective is kind of, I feel like everybody has these little moments where things sink into them. For me, it was, some of the obvious stuff, like all the restaurants close and Emily and all of her friends start freaking out because they were all in the service they are all in the service industry. Luckily, Emily's here now. And then I get a call from my biggest client that was like, hey, no, he doesn't sound like that. He said, hey, we had a budget meeting and just wanna, let you know that if shit hits the fan, that like contractors are the first to go, which is a thing I already knew and is always the case, but like just kind of that specific moment freaked me a little bit. So anyway, I had just finished reading. I listened to everything on Audible, but sponsored by no, not. So I just finished reading this book called "We Are the Weather" by Jonathan Safron Foer. I'll link stuff in the below. But I had finished that about a week ago, finished listening to it, and spoiler alert, or like a real brief thing about it, like Jonathan Safron Foer, he wrote this book called Eating Animals that I read a couple years back, and it's talking about kind of the horrible things that happen in the industrial meat and animal industry. And then this book called We Are the Weather, I'm like, okay, talking about climate change and stuff. And then the first couple chapters of the book talk about climate change and these things. And then the basic premise thereafter is that if we all just didn't eat animal products or didn't consume any animal products for breakfast and lunch, that would be the biggest change for the climate, because the animal industry uses so much water, produces so much ozone depleting things, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to paraphrase it badly. It's actually a pretty good book. I recommend it. I liked it better than his first one. But anyway, so I just finished reading that book about a week ago, and then all the stuff with the coronavirus is going crazy. So something stuck in my head about something at the beginning of the book talking about a guy that was like trying to express the calamities of what the Nazis were doing in Poland, and trying to explain that to an American gentleman, and he said something like, I just can't believe you. And so I looked that up again because it stuck in my mind. I started listening to the book again just so I could remember it. And so the guy's name was Jan Karski. He was a Polish, what was he? He was a Polish courier, and he was describing his visits to the Warsaw Ghetto. So he went and saw these terrible conditions, and then went on to try to explain the conditions and like cause alarm and cause action to people in Britain and the United States. The decisive moment that he describes with an astonishment that still arouses his deep and most troubled emotions concerned his narration to Frankfurter, who Karski knew was Jewish. So Frankfurter was, his meetings in 1944 with President FDR and Supreme Court Justice Felix Frankfurter to report on the situation in Poland. He describes all these horrible things about the Warsaw Ghetto and the extermination camps in Belzec, I guess. Frankfurter's response, Karski said, was, "I do not believe you." When the Polish ambassador who was presenting at the meeting vouched for Karski's irreproachable honesty, Frankfurter responded, "I did not say he was lying. I said that I do not believe him." So this book, Jonathan Safron Foer, goes on to talk about this idea about how we as individuals, as society, as people can understand something, but we can't believe it. Like the COVID-19 thing is such a great example of that to me. It really stuck in my head that up until everything's closing down around you, or until you see somebody get it that you know personally, or until somebody in your family is affected, you can understand what's going to happen. Like you understand that people will get sick, the hospitals will get overrun, there won't be enough resources, and there's likely going to be a huge recession or something grinding the economy to the halt. There has to be when the whole country closes down for 2 months. But until that happens, you don't believe what you understand, which I feel like is a powerful thing. And I'm hoping that is like I go in crazy mood swings thinking about this and freaking out to like I've tried to focus on what the silver lining might be and what like possibly could be positive that comes out of this situation. And if there isn't anything that is positive coming out of this situation, I think it's this idea that we can use this situation as a benchmark to believe things that we understand. So maybe we'll come out a better society because God, I hope so. I hope like, hey, the climate's getting warmer. There's a climate crisis. The air is hard to breathe. But like me buying a new SUV doesn't affect that, or me driving this truck, or, like we're all guilty of it. Like we all do these things, or maybe me ordering this junk I don't need, or like I understand that it's important for everybody to vote, but then like maybe you can transfer this understanding into belief if you go like, wait, is this a situation like the coronavirus where I understood what was happening, I understand in my head what's happening, but I didn't believe it. I couldn't come to grips with it until it slaps you in the face and knocks you over and scares the living shit out of you. Jeez, oh man. So anyway, I hope you guys are washing, staying distant. We're here in the shop, me and Emily. There's two of us. We go home and come back and washing everything and keeping our kids away from everybody and whatever. But so anyway, I'll link that book, and I'll link I found a New Yorker article about the Karski Report. There was a movie about this done in 2010. I haven't seen it. I'll probably check it out. But if you can think about things that you understand but don't believe, and maybe we can start to do that, like it'll help us imagine or empathize. I don't know exactly what it is, but I hope it's a positive thing that we can take away from this situation and apply it to other situations instead of going back to our regular life as usual. We're not very good at doing that, but here's to hoping, right? Anyway, hope you're well. Take care. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon.